Hello, it is I, the chronically late streamer. 20 minutes late again. Hello, VODheads. You don't have to deal with me being 20 minutes late. The regulars on stream do have to deal with me being 20 minutes late every time. But on the flip side, I guess you just skip all the way into the last sovereign part anyway. Which is very fair. But everybody knows, the real fans, rather, not everybody, real fans know that Gameable is where it's at. That's the best part of every stream. I need to grab a shirt. It was way too hot in my room, and then I opened the window, and now it's way too cold in my room. Shirt has been procured, acquired, and put on. What are we looking at here? We're looking at a bike. This is a real photo. How could I possibly know? Does this look like a knight? That could be a shield. That's a shield. This is the knights and bikes. What? Is this like Rocky or something? I feel like I've seen this guy. And it's tilting me something fierce. How is that not a sign? Like a emblem on a shield. It's because it's a bag. What? What the fuck? You could maybe fit a Hyperbolica there. It's Paperboy. Okay, is this a 2? It's not, right? I feel like the 2 would be in the center. So the question is it Paperboy 1 and 2? It could be 2 because it has the red thing here, right? But the red thing could be coming out of the bag as well. It's hard to tell if the red is the 2. But I would personally contrast the color of the title with a red 2. Like, I could see that. Like a purplish red. Like, that does fit. So we're gonna go 2. Yes! Yes! These are the strategies that make me a grandmaster, baby. Hey, yo, Kirby. Won't be very active today. I'm happy you're here. You don't have to be super active. Knowing you're here is enough for me. Really, what everyone should do... Okay, here's the optimal stream. The optimal stream is that every single person... Say we got like 50 people in here, which is very generous, but like say we've grown massively, we've got 50 people here. Every single person just comes in and says, sorry, I won't be here a lot, but I'll have you in the background. And then they like once every 2 hours they say something, and then I feel like I'm talking to ghosts the entire time. And I look like it. Here's a confession. Here's a cringe confession. Sometimes when there's no activity in chat, I will click on the shatter list just to make sure that there are people here. To make sure I'm not streaming to myself. Which obviously, apparently this one lies, because I feel like there might be a few more people than the shatter list says they are. But we should just have 50 people here, and there's not a single peep in chat. I lost my streak because you streamed on Thursday. How dare you? How much do I owe you in reparations? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? How do I pay you back for this? I'm sorry. So I have to close chat except when I want to send messages to give you anxiety? Yeah, exactly. Sonic Unleashed. Oh, this is... Oh my god. I haven't even looked at the screen. Yes, this is Sonic Unleashed. I would have gotten it in 1 as well. Like, this is... There is only one furry creature that has this exact look. Especially with the, like, kind of like glove part where the fur goes up like that. That's Sonic Unleashed. I loved Sonic Unleashed as a teenager. You can give me my big number back. Since you have triggered a watch streak of 88, or no, it's like 57 streams. There we go. This game sucks. Oh, this game's sick. It's bad, but it's really sick. I love the jazz joke. I used to watch Game Grumps right when this game came out. Surprise jazz. I fucking love this joke.
Just in case it happens that way.
What are you talking about?
Try breaking this wall, but wait. I sure hope there are no jazz bands waiting around here.
It's such a good every time it triggers a combat. Every single time you trigger combat, it just goes do 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 do. It didn't need to be edited to be louder, but you know, makes sense. Hello, Marcus. Sounds good. Also, hello, Munch. You're always here first, Munch. I appreciate that a lot. I know I don't know why. I hope everyone knows that, like, it's a bit. It's hard to say, because, like, with above average, I mean below average, I genuinely didn't really like him as a shatter, and I was constantly on edge with him. But, like, same thing with Working Sleeping, where I genuinely had a problem with him. Munch, I've never had a problem with. That's a lie. I had a problem with you, I had a problem with you in relation to Working Sleeping in Umineko, because you two would argue so much, and I was like, we need less Working Sleeping. Munch, you need to shut the fuck up. This is Shut the Fuck Up Friday. But I wanted to say, I appreciate you, Munch, and hello. Thank you for always being here first. It's because you're first that I keep forgetting. What are we looking at here? This is, it's not like Leroy. It shouldn't be Leroy, but it's because of the way his foot is. It feels like a stance, like he stands up, standing like this. Like a karate stance, kinda. Let me just do Tekken, just to make sure. No, it's not Tekken. Is this Final Fantasy 16? No, it's not. Wait, is this... No, when you said SF6, I was thinking Ed, but this is not Ed. It's not Kingdom Hearts. This feels like a Square Enix game for sure. It might not be, but just the vibe of the clothing. But this is so weird to have... Like, this feels like a completely different character than this one. Snow? Oh my god, he does look like that. He's from 10, I believe, right? He's one of the what do they call it? The ball game, Underwater Blitzball. He's one of the Blitzball characters, right? He's 13? What am I thinking of? Blitzball characters. I'm thinking of this guy for some reason. He doesn't even look remotely similar. He's one of the main characters of 13. I've never played 13, so that makes sense that I don't know him. Because I've seen him before, so him being a main character makes sense, but I haven't played 13, so... I wonder if he shows up in 14 at all. There's a bunch of characters that, like, sorta get cameos. Or references, rather. Prison crafting contraband. I'd never been less interested. Kickstarter funded. Bed dummy duct tape. Oh, it's, I know what game this is. This is, It's not Monaco. Is that the one I'm thinking of? I have this in Steam. You get to see my Steam library. Let's go all the way back to, like, really early days. I ordered this by... It's sorted by recent activities, so I've never opened these. It's not these. 16... This is an old game. The Escapists is what I'm thinking of. Yeah. I got it. It's a meh movie and a bad game. That was my opinion of Final Fantasy X, and I got hung for it at the time. Speaking of opinions on games, I felt vindicated, or supported rather. Sekiro is the best From game by a lot. This is not diminishing the rest of the catalog. However good you think the others are, Sekiro is just that much better. It really is a singular masterpiece. I personally think Sekiro is probably the best. It's the Souls game I've had the most fun with. I immediately went and speedran Sekiro the instant I finished Sekiro. I did all endings, and then I speedran Sekiro until I got it down to like a 3-hour run or something like that. And had so much fun. I fucking love Sekiro. So I did my 0 likes, no one gives a shit. I get weird looks for saying I think this, but when Dan Olsen, Folding Ideas, Man McMahon does it, the idea suddenly has merit. 5's not fair. This one's also funny. We shouldn't kill innocent children, but we can kill guilty children, right? Abuse is terrible, especially for non-problematic children. I love that. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the reason I'm late today, I was playing the new private server. So based, they got sued, cease and desisted by Blizzard, and said, okay. And then they immediately launched a new server with now 65k people online. So we'll see how long it stays up. We'll see what type of legal trouble. Maybe they'll get, like, assassinated. I know some of them are in Russia, so like I don't know what's gonna happen, but this has been fucking baller. All my friends are playing. It's not supporting Blizzard. It has a bunch of new zones, new content, new gear. 21 classes with 3 specs each, or average of 3 specs each. Some have 4, some have 2. I think everyone is free, actually. 3 to 4. So I've been playing this all day, and it's so good. But it did make me feel like, holy shit, every single one of these 21 classes is more interesting than the main, like, retail and classic classes. There are some times that there have been good classes in regular WoW, but that might compete with these. But I could have also just picked, like, one of the most interesting ones. But it's just so much more interesting to play than most regular WoW classes. I already have, like, as many buttons to press as what's it called? As, like, a retail class, and I'm, like, level 20. Where is it? Where's my class? My class doesn't show up here. Where the fuck is my class not here? I'm not even blind. My class just isn't in the list. Wait, 1. Oh no, it's... Why is he Son of Aragorn? This is a spec of my class. Don't force me to play the garbage tank spec. I'm playing Blood Mage. This is one of the subclasses for my class. I'm playing Blood Mage, and the Accursed is the one, the Son of Argol. But I am playing the Sanguine spec. I'm a Blood Mage. How does it compare to a Final Fantasy XIV Scholar? Dude, I wanted to die because from level 6. From level 6 onwards, I have more interesting gameplay than I do on Scholar. I wanted to, like, I felt so sad. Because the way this class works, that makes it so fascinating. Actually, let me just load up the game for like a second. Just gonna show it because it's so dope. And we're playing Last Sovereign. But the way this class works is he has a bot that spawns in Twitch chat, apparently. He has no mana. He has no mana, and he has everything costs life. So that would be fine on its own. But that wouldn't be the most terribly interesting thing. However, he has a... let me see, it should be... It's probably in my talent right here. He has a passive that every time I use a spell that costs health, it increases the cost of all my spells, but also increases their damage. At 10 stacks, I get a debuff that lowers my damage by 30% every 3 seconds until I end the buff. However, I have like spenders and dumpers. I have a bunch of skills that want me to be... Why did he despawn? What the fuck? That guy just killed it. I have a bunch of skills that want me to be at high first stacks to get better. But then I also use more life, which ends up being like a problem at length. But I also use my life to attack, which means that I need to lifesteal my way up to get my to keep my life high. But if I lifesteal my way up, I lose the stacks. So it's constantly like, do I want to deal enough damage? Do I have other ways? Because I can use Rage to heal as well. I have this, which lifesteals. So I have a decent couple ways to stay up. But then I like super buff various abilities. This is like a Giga Nuke that... Let me see, can I leveled up from that apparently? Give me a mob before the 10 seconds expire. I need a mob. Come here. Don't disappear. Don't disappear. I need it. I won't be enough. It's gonna disappear beforehand. That nuke is faster cost based on how many stacks I have, up to 10. So I don't want to spend for it. And it goes from like being a 6-second unusable long cast to being pretty fucking nice at 9. It's like 2.5 seconds at 9 stacks. But then that puts me at 10, which means now I have to dump because otherwise I lose 30% of my damage after 3 seconds. So here, for example, I would use it, and then I have 2 ways to dump. I can dump with the heal, or I can dump by going into a form that gives me access to an entirely different specs worth of abilities. I count as transformed now, so I can use all of the transformation class specs, one of the other classes, but I still have access to all my range stuff. So now I have a bunch of like melee stuff that I can do on top, like a bunch of swipes and stuff. I haven't really messed with them because it's so rare that I get like access to this form. Here, for example, I have a taunt, I have a lunge, I have a bleed, which bleeds are great because I get faster when I proc bleeds or like proc debuffs. So this is level 22, and let me see. There's a temporary pet I have access to that lets me see my upgrades. Do my upgrades here. Unavailable. We're gonna get like a decent chunk of new moves that we haven't seen yet. I'll have access to every single one of the Eternal and Accursed specs. All of their melee abilities I'll have access to while I'm in that form. I'll have access to healing stuff from Fleshweaver, which I do use every now and then. Like I have a heal that costs rage, heals me 200 right now, but costs 20 rage. I'll have access to like a lot from every spec, and then I'm constantly managing my first level. How high do I want to be? And then popping with my cursed form at the end. So a lot of the time it's like I end up staying at like 200 to 300 HP in like a risk zone, because then I do the most damage. Risk-wise, I have a really broken at the moment fear. This fear gives me like a little bit of lifesteal on the mobs, which is helpful, but then it also just lasts like a metric fuck ton of time. So that's kind of been like my bread and butter. But already, level 22, complexity-wise, what are we dealing with compared to Final Fantasy XIV? Yeah, this is like a factor of 5 more abilities I have to press. There are resources I have to manage. There are reasons I want to be at low first to constantly have access to my heal spells without killing myself to get there. And there are reasons I would want to be at high first. And I'm level 20. I have so many abilities I'm going to get from the talent tree. I just don't understand how one of 21 classes, one of 70 specs, 71 specs total, is that interesting. And then WoW just can't be remotely interesting. And then I use WoW as the measuring point, but then I get even more depressed when I think about the fact that as a healer in Final Fantasy XIV, at level 70 right now, so 30 levels left. At level 70 right now, I press 1.5 buttons for damage 80% of the fights. Like 75 to 80% of every fight. I press a dot every 30 seconds, and then I press 1 for like 70% of the fight. And then for the rest of it, I press either instant cast heals, or once in a blue moon, I press a proper heal. It's just so... Oh, wrong game. Sorry, I've been playing Path of Exile. Sorry, I meant to launch Last Sovereign. I booted the wrong game. It's just depressing, man. Like, how do you fuck up class design like that? How is a game with 71 specs that much more interesting? Genuinely depressing. It's still WoW, so I can't get myself to care. That's fair. There's a bunch of whole new zones and new items, new raids, new dungeons. So I'm like, I'm not supporting Blizzard, and I'm expecting it to get taken down. It's a discovery period where no one knows how anything works, which is very fun. And there's a bunch of people, so I'm having a blast with it. But on principle's sake, I wouldn't play it if it was Blizzard who made it. Anyway. That's enough rambling about what I've been playing recently. It's like it started 2 days ago, so everyone is leveling. There's like infinite people everywhere. It's so nice. I love it. I've also gotten some like memories that'll stick for a long time, which is part of why I love playing early releases of MMOs. I asked for an invite to a party during like a really contested kill quest, and they challenged me to a duel when I was at half HP, and had an enemy on me. I fortunately happened to have stacked up to level 9 first. So this guy challenges me to a duel. I cast my Giga Bolt. It instantly one-taps him because I'm at max stacks, so it does the highest amount of damage it does. The duel ends, and then he gets one-tapped by a mob immediately after. And then I go back to killing the mob that attacked me. I felt like such a fucking baller. I was like, invite me to party, and then this guy is like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, I'm gonna end his whole career, and then I one-tap him. I say owned, and he DMs me a bunch, like, I fucked your mom last night. Literally the fucking... he did the I owned your mom last night, was what he answered. And he just starts DMing me a bunch of rage, and I'm having such a blast. I was like, I love this. This is what it's all about. He tried to troll me, I trolled him back. Best part was I was one level under him, so he really got like everything going for him, and he still couldn't beat me. Oh my god, I haven't even checked if we have the right items on. Whew. Let's see. Learn from trading with Simon. Is this from... I don't know if he had this last time. Learn from trading with Robin. Also, this is tragic. Shadow Impaler. No, dude. Shadow Imp, Shadow Orcant. You can't hit me with... This mob should despawn. This mob should despawn. We don't have him anymore. If you can't reply with a good I fucked your mom, there's too much moderation. Yeah, there's very... I don't know if I actually don't know if there's no moderation. I haven't seen any, like, hateful content pretty much. Very, very little. Or I say hateful, but like, you know, racist or xenophobic or whatever. I've seen very, very little of that. So maybe they do have moderators, but I've definitely seen a whole bunch of, like, 2012 gamer speak. One of my favorite, though. Having global chat on is always such a blast, because you never know what you're gonna get. Well, I know I have the text burned into my head, verbatim. They said, it's not gay to like Thai trans women. It's simply a natural endpoint. And I was like, endpoint? Is this like the end of human evolution? Like, where are we at? This is the natural end. It's not gay. It's the natural endpoint. Okay, good for you. I don't think anyone was judging. This was unprompted, but you know, I'm happy that you can have a preference. And I don't know who asked, but you know. You're on my bathroom vents fan's Bluetooth speaker. Nice. I hope I haven't said anything that would make that a compromising position. That is never my goal, if so. Yeah, right. I gotta care about these. I do have a bunch of healing potions, so I guess we're fine. But these motherfuckers don't have an inbuilt like heal for the party, which is evil. Items, equipment. You really don't get that much, like, orc gear. If there isn't somebody overshowing stuff nobody asked about in global, is it really an MMO? That's exactly how I feel. I feel at home. I do not believe so. I don't know if the people who live above me can hear it. Fair enough, fair enough. Let me scream at the top of my lungs just to make sure. They won't be able to hear you after that. That's for sure. I don't think they need that. Impales, haha, the Impaler, and he's dead. Oh, that's great. I love that. I love that he's dead. And I got all his gear on my other characters. That's really nice. Thanks for the reminder, game. It's actually crazy that this is the first time that we're doing, like, orc stuff since he died, I think. I don't know if we've done any orc stuff since he died. Holy shit, that gives a lot of magic. I guess we have the optimal shield set up. It'll be this. Do we want to trade defense for magic defense? And some attack for agility? Hard to say, but I'm gonna go with no. I hate having to use potions, but I do have extra. I cannot open the chest as I am now. This is a tower knot. I do not believe we can overcome it by our own power. Okay, well, fuck. Oh yeah, right. This is... What's the button? This is a dual dungeon. I forgot. I forgot. Orkin, look out! This one is charged with... Please don't hurt us. I apologize, but that is what I am about to do. I don't know if that's meant to be funny. I know that it's how he spoke and like how he talked when he was on the farm and couldn't control himself, but I love the idea of someone asking for mercy and you going, I'm sorry, but unfortunately that is what I'm about to do to you. I'm about to end your whole career. Oh goddess, it's that smart orc bandit. Why us? You were the most judicious target. Now, I will... That's far enough, orc. Royal Knights. Where did they come from? Did the goddess answer our prayers? No, I believe they finally preempted my ambush. Half planning, half luck, but you'll still die today, orc. Perhaps that is for the best. At least you can end this cruel existence. Orkant, are you alright? I saw. Please, let me take a game. I can't handle getting 3-0'd. Yeah. I apologize, but I must kill you. You have presented yourself as a shine-spikeable opportunity, and so I am obligated to take it. I appear to have altered myself to a former state. Not on a deep level. It's more like you put on a new coat of magical essence. My intellect and self-control have not been affected, so we may continue. But what if it does get affected? At least it's not Marf F Smash. Dude, I found it so funny when I'd never seen a Marf do decently against Young Link in my entire career, and then I saw May play, well, you for one, but I saw them play the other Young Link. There were two in Nordic Melee Nepley at the time that entered the events, and she played both of you, and just holding down and spamming down tilt by the ledge and like CCF smashing looked so fucking unbeatable. And then I think she also did like a run-off counter that just immediately killed your recovery, and I was like, huh, Marf is really fucking annoying, apparently. I didn't know this. I thought Marf just got owned, but apparently Marf has things he can do. It turns out Marf might be a pretty good character if the Marf player actually like spends 5 minutes to think about what the correct answer in a situation is and then executes on the correct answer. Link does a lot better than Young Link. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Link has like some of the most obnoxious tools for Marth to deal with, whereas Young Link gets outranged, and also the grab is 10 times less scary. The projectiles don't link into kills in the same way, and you have way better CC game versus him. The downside is Young Link can run away way more effectively than Link, but the problem is that Link kind of doesn't have to run away that hard, because he can bunker the fuck down and CC, projectile spam, outrange, play the spacing game. So yeah, I think it looks like Young Link does a decent bit worse, but I can't say for sure. I haven't played them enough. You seem to experience more in that moment than we did. What did you see? I gave him Orkin's voice by mistake. It is over. It is Jover. Another life, I think. A possibility lost to time. Okay, so let me lock back into Last Sovereign from talking about WoW. Lore implications. We're inside the Spire tower space. We've been inside the Spire physically before, where we fought the orcs underneath inside way back in like chapter 2 or something like that. Fate magic? Fate? Destiny? Tied to destiny in some way? Has to be, right? Like, it's showing a separate possible existence. What he could have been if he didn't meet, Simon. I'm curious about that. Are you slaying it? And by it, I mean my Spire. I would love to slay your spire. But I'm afraid that they haven't let me hit the spire since September 11th. I haven't been allowed in there, unfortunately, so I wish I could say yes, but no, I haven't been able to. Let me know if you want to co-op. I'm not terrible. I saw that they added a ton of co-op cards this patch, so I'm kind of excited to try it. So on that front, I would be down to co-op. The only thing is, what's it called? Finding time between the new. Holy shit! He took a ton of damage. The new WoW server and everything. That's the main thing. But yeah, if I do find like the urge, then I would love to. Okay, Implemon is fucking garbage. It's also fun because I have thought about just like talking to you people properly instead of talking at you. And a co-op run would be a nice way to do that. On the other hand, I do like my Gilded Tower of just being annoying on stream and you being forced to deal with it. That is a very nice dynamic to have, I gotta say. Wait, were they weak to fire? They weren't, right? Oh, they were. Still waiting for single-player multiplayer in Slay the Spire 2. There's a mod for that. You also don't need the mod. You can also just load up multiple clients. You just need to use the what's it called? The EXE instead of the Steam launcher. It feels so bad to use recovery items, but you know, maybe it's not even needed. We'll see. I didn't even know you could do that. Yeah, you can do that. There's a speed run that someone did with 2-player, just speed running 2 accounts at the same time. There's also one with 4, which I think is even crazier. I suppose I should just investigate this essence, just like the previous pit. Nothing like a pint after work, eh, Orkant? Indeed. The satisfaction of a job well done adds to the flavor. I've never told you this. I was really nervous about the new Ehilin, but you changed my mind. Hope that's not bad to say. No, you're racist as fuck, and I no longer enjoy conversing with you. I thought that we had moved beyond our differences, but you bring up base, racial, visual identificators? Identity markers? Fuck, I lost the plot immediately. I had a place I wanted to go and I lost it. God damn it. My mind has been... identifiers, thank you! Fucking... Oh. Lost it right at the finish line. The bit has been absolutely obliterated. Not at all. My mind has been changed far more than yours, thanks to the new orc program. Suppose so. You have any clue what the Doom King is going to do next? None whatsoever. They don't tell the orcs any more than the other guards. I managed to hurt my foot earlier, and it hurts like a fuck ton. I don't even know how I did it, but I'm looking at it now, and I think it's actually like swelling up. Oh well, I will, I've been like trying to not make contact with it, but I'm just gonna sit in like a cross-legged lotus position and just let it rest like that, and hopefully that's fine. Not even the guards that are part of the special Doom King army. Perhaps once, but they've merged since, and I joined after, in any case. Then we're all in the dark, huh? Guess we'll just keep guarding. It's a decent life. I like this. I like this. This is a much less depressing alternate life. That he would use the orc transformation and become a guard. I had expected this to be my final self, on an alternate path. What's that? Nothing relevant. I don't think this essence will be useful, but we should seek out more. It's not budging. I think we need Orkin for this. Well, you know what we need? We need a different formation that doesn't include Aka. Possibly the most important thing we can do. It's so crazy that she can use fucking everything. It's actually insane that she can use so much. The Rabbit Whip is so much fucking damage, actually. Like, nothing even comes close to as much damage cumulatively. The Crusader Staff gives a bunch of defense, which is actually pretty useful. But yeah, nothing else even comes close. Increases SP generation could be really good, actually. But I don't know if... And it lowers defense a little bit, but I don't know if that's actually a problem. Lust Death defense is really fucking good, actually, so you don't get one-tapped by mobs that do that. I actually really like that. I love RPGs, man. RPGs are sick. I'm one of those freaks that really loves menuing. Bro, wait, we're fighting oppression? That's crazy. But yeah, I really, really adore menuing. I don't know why. I'm a freak. Okay, Smite. How much damage does this do? 2.2k is not bad. Like, I'm genuinely surprised that it does that much. That makes Karina pretty fucking good, actually. Not that she wasn't already, but... I cannot open this chest as I am now. Well, fuck you. When the shadow is Orkant. Weak point block. Interesting. I'm so confused. Why did Implemon take 5,000 damage before from one attack and now block everything? Is he... What's his defense against magic and fizz? That would explain it, having 72 MDef and 189 defense. Okay, so I gotta use his taunt when there are no magical enemies. I cannot break this barrier, but with the right power, I might be able to clear the way for the others. Nice, they give you the potions you need. Oh, Orkant, I'm so tired, but I can't resist you. Dude, he's swagged up! He got that shit on lock! My man has made a living and a half, dude. Orkant, the self-made orc. New book out now. Ghost written by Robin? No. Who would... Ghost written by Miguel to earn money. I will make use of someone else. We can resume at a later time. Thank you, my lord. That was the first sentence. I can't resist you, yeah. You seem so much stronger, my lord. Stronger? I have not meaningfully changed since I absorbed the Incubus Emperor's shard. I don't mean your power, I mean your personal strength. You were so unhappy when we first met, and even after you got the shard. I found that control is actually several concepts that are often conflated. It was a troubling revelation. But everything is better now, right? You took out that nasty guy, and even the humans aren't being so obnoxious anymore. I would love... There's no universe where they do this, but I would love and adore the storytelling of this quest if by the end of this, Orkin is like, huh, I might have enjoyed this other version of my life even more than now. He looked like he was having a good time. Like, there's no universe where he's going to say that or think that, but it would be so funny if he did. Man. Hey, can you just give me a shard? Seemed like a good time. No, well, Divine Shard is one thing, yes, but we're talking Incubus King Shard. You took out that nasty guy, and even the humans aren't being so obnoxious anymore. Even this level of power and success cannot sate my fundamental desire. My lord, please, fuck me. I didn't mean... My lord? It's nothing. Come here. New power fills me. We should put it to use. Dude! We got him swagged up in the party! Okay. We just never let him take it off. He just has to wear this forever. Can you open a chest now? Good question. I don't think so, but I think I can do... This treasure is denied to me. Why did he say it like that? I have claimed this barrier. The others should have a clearer path here. Yeah, they changed the sprite. It's sick. So everyone else got a path. Oh, I even... Oh, so you can... Oh, there's... You don't always want to be one or the other. You want to change between them. The barriers of goddesses are yet beyond my reach. I have claimed this barrier. Yeah, I'm surprised they updated that too, but they've always had a mind to like put the extra effort in this game, I feel. Archetype emerged and Decay emerged. Hey, it's just like that book, A Practical Guide to Evil. Calls upon... Uses the summoning spell on Kirby. Hi, that is exactly what I'm saying. The mob was called Archetype, and I'm thinking of the names, you know. I'm getting a bit of a vibe. Gone to Orkin's face. Feels like it, yes. Oh, nice. I'm already at the right place. It seems they've sent over healing magic, as we are due. Nice. I wonder if I have infinite... Well, this is definitely a fight where you, you use the... what's it called? The taunt on him. Never mind, it's not... You explicitly do not use the taunt on him. I've used the taunt on him and he's going to fucking die. But you know what? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you take the L and get 13k experience. Please tell me the heal is... Good stuff. Good stuff. I wasted 2 orc potions. We gotta reload the save. Now who's this guy? Dabbed up. The newest shipment passes muster. I will begin drawing up a new contract. Excellent, excellent. What do you say we set the contract aside and get a bite to eat first? Truly? I should introduce you to a few friends of mine. For all the time we worked together, you've never made such an offer. First time for everything, eh? Does this reflect changing opinion on me, or regarding trade routes into Takan? Can it be a bit of both? Not like most of those old bastards really like me. Huh. I accept. Dude, He's getting too many cool outfits. He's dapped up now. Good to see that one of my alternate paths found a degree of happiness. Interesting that he says that about the trade path, but not the Incubus King path. Maybe he already knows that it's gonna end terribly in the Incubus King one. Another small matter. The others are likely to be particularly pleased with these goods. Okay. Why? I'm going to refill my drink. 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. It'll be a 2-minute break. I forgot that we went into the Orkant quest at the start of last stream. I was going to... I named the title, The Hair Must Be Complete, because I thought we were gonna do the Giga Dungeon. And then I spawned in here, I was like, wait a second. This ain't the Giga Dungeon. The Incubus King had material gain, but wasn't at all satisfied. That's the correct read out of it. He didn't seem to be happy with... Well, I think generally, it wasn't that he was unhappy about the state he's in himself. It's the fact that he has no companionship and no one who understands him at all, right? Like, the succubi he talked to was completely uncomprehending of his problems. Seems like a very lonely way to live. Got 3,500 sex. Found some books. These are real texts, not tower manifestations. And we should get them back safely to the library, right? I find myself quite enamored with this version of Orkant. Because he can give you books. That's all he is for you. A repository that gives you books. A library. Men are worth more than what they produce, okay? I'm making this into a gender moment. It's not budging. I think we need Orkant for this. Makes sense. Was there anything else to grab here? Or, maybe I need Orkant to clear up some more space. Succubi make poor customers. Oh, so... King for the succubi, right? I should be able to overcome all succubi, yet this barrier resists me. Well, fuck you! I think a lot of women would prefer most men if they were just libraries. Reasonable, I suppose. But I also think some women would, or like a lot of women would appreciate men more if they just disappeared. And I don't particularly feel like entertaining that. I think both things can be true at once. It's a rough life out there. Why can't I open this? So it has to be an orc inside, right? Unless the succubi here. It's killing me that we can't fuck with these statues ourselves. What's a gender? Agender is when you don't have a gender. That's what gender is. Hope that helped. I need you for the succubi. This base form is of no use here. So is that saying I never have to be the base form? That's actually a bit interesting. Should have been the superior gender, Worm. Worm is a really good web series, yeah, I agree. It's also a very gender web series. Worm is one of the very few that I've fully reread after completing it. Worm and, what's it called? Practical Guide to Evil, and then Mother of Learning, I believe, are the only completed web serials that I reread after completing them once. Because I wanted to get like a second fresh perspective instead of reading them weekly or whatever. Worm is really good. My favorite part of Worm is Slaughterhouse 9. Really, really well written part of it. Unlike this part that is really going over my head. What am I not understanding? It's like there's nothing I can interact with here. I got the books. I can't pass through any of these. Rely on the other Incubus King. Can't go through there. So one of the forms must be able to deal with succubi. But I feel like I've used all of them. Maybe this one and it's like the religious coded stuff. But I think I could break through something here if only it was in a different form. Yeah, but I don't have the correct other form yet. I've tried this one. Thing is, they gave me this guy, and I took all the chests with him. And I've tried him on like everything. We must wait for our associates to remove the parallel barrier. Reasonable, but I think Orkant will have to deal with this one. Chat, am I stupid? Options-wise, I have way more options as Orkant than I do as these guys. Which makes me believe that it is Orkant that solves this. But I don't have that many more options. I'm at full HP, right? It's not something dumb like that. Statues on the left. Well, I can't get through here. This one was nothing. When I interacted with this one as my base form, it said this one is nothing. Is it because that one was accessible when I entered here, and that is the dialogue from the very moment you enter before you assumed any of the other forms? Maybe that's it. I definitely recall reading something to the effect of this one is not, like, important. But evidently that should have done something, probably on this side. I can probably walk through down here. Yeah, okay, cool. You were so right, Niklas, my bad. I talked myself into the wrong thing, which is a very common thing to happen in life. You gotta be prepared for it every time. Try to mitigate it. Get sad when you can't, because you're dumb. Maybe that's just a personal experience, though. I love when you do the right thing, and there's one mob that self-heals, and then 2 other ones that deal damage, and you correctly, accidentally, didn't attack the one that self-heals at all. You're just on the right wave immediately. I think we're in the right place, but Orkin needs to be here too. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, that is just how this plays out, I feel. Well, the thing is that this one was a little different than that Munch, because I did interact with it as this guy, and he was like, I can't do anything with this. He didn't give me the default, this base form is of no use here. He gave a separate answer specifically for that statue. But I'm starting to realize it's because that statue is accessible from the moment you get here. So that's probably why. I also don't recall the exact contents of it, so I could be misremembering details, which is always bad. Now that I have the heal point, I'm so much less stressed about how I play these, because it's not like we're gonna be bad enough to die in like a fight. We might lose a person, but we're not gonna like lose the fight itself. New guy unlocked, new guy appeared. And that's the plan for dealing with the Orgasmic Empire. What do you think, everyone? With this level of reasoning... Or, wait. With just this level of deduct... No, what did she say? With just this... Does she just end it at this? With just this level of deduction is possible for Furudo Erika? What is the point right before the whole spiel? With just X... This level of reasoning is possible for Furudo Erika. I fucking love that. What do you think, everyone? Erika might be, like, the character that's gonna live on rent-free in my mind the longest out of, like, any fictional character ever. It's, unfortunate that that's how it works, but it does. I hope this orc section is permadeath for the orcs. I can already tell you that I've revived at least one orc before, but, you know, maybe it does, and it's like teleportation, where you revive a different, like, version of the same person, and the original person just died. I have a few suggestions, mistress. Of course you do, my little orky. That's why I bought you. Your plans are reasonable, as always, but are they perhaps too modest? What do you mean? Simply negotiating between succubus principalities is limited in scope. It can never shift, or it can shift servings of the pie, but never the system that creates the tin. Why would I want to change the system? Things are great. My apologies, mistress. Aw, poor Orky. Do you need me to drain your balls again so you can think properly? Not as much, or not as such, mistress. I will proceed with my suggestions. Show your usual sharp wit, and I'll drain you after as a reward. No comment. Nothing can be done. Only our superiors can lower this barrier. Nice. This is definitely fucking up his mental state. We're not going to comment on the fact that he's getting a little bit possessed by each persona. Persona! I would never dare touch the barrier protecting this treasure. Well, you know, can you pray at least? Such a beautiful goddess, such overwhelming magic. I submit. Found an orc magic shield. Implevon, that sounds like for you. Never mind, your magic is still dog shit. But it is better. Oh, but it buffs magic, so you want to give it to Grubak. Apparently it doesn't buff it as much as it does for him, so... Gralk just has everything. Gralk is just built different. The master has been kind to send us healing magic. Yeah, fuck you. Who cares about your master? Does this impact your fighting at all? It doesn't, right? There's no way. I have to engage so much of my brain for these. Less so now, obviously, but it's still... I still think about it. I'm like, I gotta lock in for this. Actually, they can't get... Interesting that they can't get... blinded. Barely got the attack off. It is funny that you're still like level 40. You're weak, Orkant. Okay. Let's see if it says the similar thing. Oh wait, no, I was the king? I was the king, I think. Let me be this guy, because I gotta be this guy anyway. Bah, this form has nothing to do with this barrier. I think this is what I read, and I took it to mean that this barrier, like this form, as in not the character I am, but the statue itself, has nothing to do with this barrier. Which is, in hindsight, a really poor reading from me. But I think that's what I read, that this form, as in the statue, has nothing to do with the barrier. Which is not what they mean. They mean that the form that I am currently possessing has nothing to do with the statue. I cannot break this barrier, but with the right power... Wait, really? Wasn't that the one you just broke? Or am I tripping? Was it this one you just broke? Used to break that one? Yeah, it's king, you're right. Let's open the chests, run over and grab the king. The king! The king! I feel like this version of Orkant is just flexing on us. Another small matter, he says every time. Regardless of how difficult the matter is. To him it means nothing. He's built different. Orkant is him for sure. He's Giga him. Hunger and growth. Okay. That is what happens when you eat a lot. You do hunger. That skill seemed garbage. I've never used it before and I will never use it again. Oh, nice, they have lifesteal. I really... once again, I picked the perfect option accidentally. Love that. This level of deduction is trivial for Furdo Erica. This level of barrier is trivial for Furdo Orkant. Really hard to say Furdo with that voice. That intonation. Not necessarily hard in like a making the noise type of way, but more in a like my consciousness feel like like it feels incompatible. Found Yihilini work armor. This isn't exactly useful for us. No, but we can send it over to Orkant without trouble. Reasonable, reasonable. Okay, so we've done like 180 across the entire thing. Did we break one? I think we broke one. Yeah. This song is like an old friend. It's been there for so much of the game. It just it's home at this point, you know? It's like Stockholm syndrome. It's been here for too long. So now it's just permanent. Now it's good. It stopped being bad. But if God is good, why pain hurt? Oh, wrong work. I was like, he's got the default skin on this one. He's rocking the default. He's doing the default dance. Is that hip with the kids? I don't play Fortnite. Evala could create a perfectly good world, but there would be no room for any of us in such a static creation. Instead, she allows us to make our own decisions. Unfortunately, for free will to be free, it must allow us to experience and even cause pain. Too many words hurt head. Life in a cage is not life, but let out you can make mistakes. If can choose can hurt, yes, it falls on us to use our free will to make a better world. Orkant much smart. Understand now. Remarkably well done, Orkant. Another pacified visitor. Maybe even a future follower of Evala. Thank you, sister. I do what I can with the few gifts given me. You're too modest. I admire how you can discuss these issues with the lowest orc or highest priestess. As always, you are too kind. Sister, you are a lay priestess, are you not? Would you be interested in dinner with me later? Brother Orkant, as much as I respect you, I don't think... You don't need to say any more. Think nothing of it. I'm sorry. I'll pray that Evala sends you the right person. A life in which I found a degree of purpose, and yet a new sort of melancholy. What's this now? Yeah, he's taking your drip, bro. He's taking your whole ass vibe. Sorry to say, but you're obsolete now. Orkant got it on lock. Nothing important. Begone, temptress. It is of no use. I love how wrong he was as well. It makes perfect sense for him to say that, but knowing what we know of Evala is sitting there like, no man, I would help if I could. Begone. This barrier is banished. This barrier felt different from the others. Let us use this blessing of healing carefully. No. We spam them. It would be completely inappropriate for me to remove this barrier. Well, who the fuck cares about appropriateness? Fuck you. The others should have a clearer path forward. Wasn't there another one here? No, it's the succubi. Yeah, there's the succubi left. Succubi was... slave. You think the other orcs are having an existential crisis? That Orchid has like 6 other possible life paths and they got nothing? Oh my god. No. Dude, imagine that. Oh, it's such a good skit. It's so good. When you're in the hero party and you think like we're all equally important, but you gotta lock in and realize that you're a side character, like it slowly dawns on you. Like every other character has like a main quest where it's like, you could have been this in another life, or, you know, like, we spend 50 hours with a side quest, and you look, you're like, so what's my thing? Well, you're just kind of there. Like, Ralk is saving the world, and Orchid has 7 different alternate lives. Like, what could I have been? Like, you're what you are. Like, Implevon is Implevon. It's like, okay, cool. Sucks to be me. This barrier felt different from all the others. Yeah, it is some Slater's Princess stuff, for sure. Great comparison. You can't even tell him that he carries the bags, because that would make him like a solo leveling beat, and even that is too good for him. Well, this looks a little fucked up. Fear is probably gonna be a problem, I would wager. Actually, I should do the blind. Blind on... Well, I'm gonna assume Fear does the highest damage. We'll see if that's true, but that's my guess. Did I not get the... Is he immune to blind? Maybe he's immune to blind. I got that vibe. Definitely didn't do the right things for damage for everything else. Miss. We got the blind off at least. As long as Gearbug doesn't die, we're doing okay. Oh my god. Why did you die? Fuck you, Gearbug. I thought you were better. Ah, that's annoying. Okay, Implevon does jack shit for damage. Can't miss. I need can't miss on that for sure. Stop evading! Oh my god. So I think this says a powerful if misguided magical strike. So maybe I'm doing it to myself by using the bad... Don't worry about it. We're gonna win. It's not... Don't even stress about it. It's completely fine. Honestly, a lot closer than it should have been, but you know, it is what it is. The skull doesn't have eyes to blind, but it has eye sockets, which is the same thing. I don't know what you're on about. I could never dream of touching this barrier. Okay, well, fucking stop being a incel that like mystifies women too much. Just fucking touch the barrier. It's fine. It's not gonna hurt you. They're people too. Another small. It seems the essence represented by this chest is less amenable to my power. You can still force it open, right? I could, but I believe there may be a better solution from one of our allies poorly suited to combat in the tower. I need only make the request to our allies. This place. Oh, it's Stark. Fucking love Stark. He's gotten way too small amount of screen time. This place, it constantly destroys my body, but I have endured worse. Hello, Stark. We require your assistance. This power is linked to great vitality. No, immortality. Which you embody in all its terror and glory. I'll play my part, if you insist. Nothing? Only by the twisted logic of this place, Simon and the others should be able to acquire something of value. Then I am glad my suffering at least accomplished something by their standards. Charming. He has been a useful ally, despite his nihilism. He's ballin', dude. The others should have a clearer path here. Nice. And then it's just the priest as the final one, but I gotta heal. I need healing. Requesting backup. Be gone. This barrier is banished. Well, maybe Munch, but they have a different essence. Actually, no, they don't, because you get a different... Like, you can combine them and all, but, like, if they die properly, they do disappear. It doesn't, like, go on like that. But the... But Stark specifically just regrows forever, which seems pretty handy, you know? Found a lust pastry. Is it shaped like a lily? Don't answer that. I love that I get enough SP to use my best AoE on Simon turn 2. It's really nice. Found the immortal thread. I made a good guess. It was in the key items. This glistening thread flows with raw magical power that never fades. Dark Orchid? Shadow Orchid and Dark Orchid? Oh no, we're leveling up. There's a new, worse, harder version. It's a palette... it's an asset switch. No. An asset swap. That's one of my favorite jokes in Deltarune. There's a mob that just fucking legitimately goes like, I'm sorry, I can't help that I'm better than you in every way. If you wanted to compete, you should have changed your color. Because, like, you know, finding the higher level version of the enemy, and it's just a different palette swap. I love that. I didn't need them anyway. It's like the water temple? Yes. I already... In the new, the private server I'm playing, right? They introduced two new systems of loot that I think are really cool. One, which is enemies now drop the gear they're wearing. So, like, if you're killing casters, you'll get visually the same gear that they have on them. Like, they'll have the same look, but also they'll have appropriate stats. So, like, if you kill casters, you'll get caster gear. And if you kill melee wolves or whatever, you'll get, like, agility gear and stuff like that. But the cooler one is just there's something called world forged items, which are just, like, secret items that spawn in the world, and you have to, like, look for them. So, like, maybe you'll find, like, a wedding ring on, like, a grave. You'll find I found a cooking pan in a kitchen, and, like, stuff like that. And they're just, like, unique items you can find in the world, and there's, like, 5,000 plus of them. But I dove to the bottom of a lake, and I found heavy boots, which I wonder what that's a reference to. Could be anything. Faith cannot take us this far. Only some other truer form. Yeah, okay. Yeah, gotta be the slave, right? Has to be you. Has to be you. The truest form there is. I am not worthy to journey any oh my god, cringe! I thought I had it. I really thought I got the right look. Ah, unfortunate. What did that say? I wonder how they managed this. Me looking at any building. This feels right, but the others need to be here to help pierce the center. Yeah, they are, though. I don't think I missed any chests. I think I took all of them, but let me do one final check through. I didn't take all of them. Magic Orc Shield and a Shining Sword. Shining Sword especially is nice. A multiple of 5 I think is good. I think that might let us get another item with our Shining Sword stuff. I think we're in the right place, but Orkin needs to be here too. Is this where it all leads? Huh. I don't have any answers or power for you. That must be a bit disappointing. No, not at all. That's it. Not much service. I guess we'll have to manage on our own. I'm so fucking down for this to be a bar scene. That feels... It's hard to tell you how good this feels as like a conclusion. Tying his personal quest into a final bar scene like this is so good. It's just great writing. Were you really looking for answers here? Answers? Yes. Existential certainty? No. They said that this place can tell you your truest essence. Given what we've seen of the world, I thought it possible. But you're skeptical about the inherent value of those answers. Yes. After all, the world, and even my fundamental biology, told me quite clearly what I was meant to be. And nothing we've learned about destiny has been particularly comforting. So it's possible that we live in a world where you have a destiny, and something you're meant to be, and that those ultimate answers are unsatisfying. Instead, it seems like this place is heavily influenced by those who walk it. Orcs come here and find the answers they expect. I don't think it needs to be that negative. What they feel will be heavily influenced by their interpretations, which means they might choose their own answers. Agreed. I have no particular concerns about the effects on particular orcs. That doesn't mean I'm equally sanguine about reality itself. Sanguine's the name of the spec I play in as a blood mage. I'm a sanguine mage. That's a reference to Project Ascension. You mean the fundamental concepts that seem to be built into reality? For example, the elemental lust and purity that Alanon saw. While that could be worthy of discussion, I'm most concerned about the concept of true, or pure forms that we encounter in highly advanced magic. There are substantial philosophical precedents for this, of course. You see the idea of a realm of pure forms return time and time again. I've always found those proposals more interesting than compelling. The fact that we can conceive of such a realm is no evidence that one must exist. Who is it again? Oh, it's not Plato, is it? I think it is Plato, actually. Plato's school of thought is, I wish I could be sure I'm attributing it correctly. This is one of those cases where I'm a bit sad that I didn't do more philosophy than I did. I did 2 courses of philosophy, but they were a bit too basic, so some things don't stick in my mind, but I'm pretty sure that Plato is the one that posits that if we can imagine it, then it must exist. Or like that is equal to it existing, in a sense. Is a better way to put it. It's an interesting idea, but obviously that's not in a literal sense like they're talking about here. I'd never considered that this might be another confusion between is and ought. Indeed, even if a pure ideal of orchood existed in the tower, we would be no more obligated to follow it than our basest natures. I feel like this is gender-coded, saving this for gender discussion. And yet, reality might not agree with me. Fundamental elements of the world, such as arcane or sexual magic, do seem to have pure or true forms. While the rest of our discussion is rather abstract, these purities are backed by empirical power. It doesn't need to follow that these forms are fundamentally more correct, however. There may be a magical wavelength or frequency that produces the most powerful arcane fire. But is this more fire than a campfire? I suppose linguistics itself will always produce a level of ambiguity that can't necessarily be removed by any level of analysis. For example, the question as to whether lightning is a type of fire. According to arcane typology, they are distinct elements, and yet, lightning causes fire and could fulfill many of the conditions. It also goes boom, just like fire. If you can imagine a hot cat girl who really loves you, then she really exists. Why would you imagine a hot cat girl who loves you when you can imagine a hot cat girl that loves herself? Are you that egotistical that you would conjure into being an individual whose primary motivation is loving you rather than loving themselves? Isn't that in itself the ultimate form of evil? Self-centeredness and utter contempt for your other human beings? I'm afraid that you're shameful. Your behavior is shameful. That's what I'm saying. You should be ashamed of yourself. I suppose Riala's research is encouraging to you then. She's been able to stymie magic based on the allegedly fundamental principles. Plato's allegory of the cat girl, that's a different thing, but God, I'm so tilted. There was a video essayist I watched. They made a 6-hour video on Bloons tower defense that I enjoyed, and then like a couple other videos. And I've never fallen off as hard as in their newest video about games that have like a meta layer to them. They're like a meta puzzle game. It's stuff like Baba Is You and Void Stranger and stuff, so it should be up my alley. And this individual spends legitimately 15 minutes setting up the idea of the allegory of the cave, like the player is fucking stupid, like the listener is fucking stupid, after spending 5 minutes saying that the thing about these games is it's cool that they respect the player's intelligence and they don't think you're stupid. And then they spend 15 minutes talking around the allegory of the cave like it's this insane idea and not something that a 5-year-old could understand if presented correctly. And I was sitting there and I was like, just get to the fucking point. Instead of building up the foundational knowledge here for 15 minutes in a circle, use the idea to say something interesting. And then the video ended, and I was so fucking mad. I was actually like... It's one of those things where like you have a level of respect for a content creator where you're like, okay, this is the level of quality I expect. And then this hits so far below, I don't know if I'll ever watch another video they make. Because it felt like such a profound waste of like an hour. 45 minutes of garbage. It was very funny though, because they start with like 10 minutes of a game I don't care about. So they had timestamps for each game. And I skipped to like past the first game, which was insanely funny because the name of that game, they kept like looping back to it in the idea. I gotta see what the fuck the name was, because it actually like made me laugh consistently every time they said the name of it, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I got the vibe, and I was like, oh no, this is a game you talked about earlier. Yeah, so the video is 1 hour and 45 minutes, and they talk about Pacuret down the bun burrows. How do you pronounce this? Let me see. Let me hear them say it here. How do you pronounce this? Please tell me they say it right at the timestamp. Because every time they said this, I was like, what the fuck?
Down the bun burrows, the bun burrows.
Wait.
And the first game we're gonna talk about is Pack Rat Down the Bun Burrows.
Every time they hit me with the Pack Rat Down the Bun Burrows, out of nowhere in the middle of the video, I was like, what the fuck are we talking about? I was like, we're talking about Void Strangers, like, it's just like Pack Rat Down the Bun Barrows. And I'm like, Bun Burrows. And I'm like what? What are we discussing? I think I know this RPG. Here's the video if you're interested. Maybe you do. But is this revealing the nature of reality? Or is it a weapon used against a hostile system? If you can't explain the Cave of Shadows in 5 minutes, you're clearly confused and don't understand it. Well, the issue is that they explain it, like, in 3 minutes. But then they keep looping back to it like it's this profound idea. And they're like, it's just like the cave. And I'm like, move on. you've used this, like, we can see, you don't, it's like when you get, like, the same flashback 7 times in Persona. Like, in Persona 5, when they flash back, it's like, you must have had the help of a powerful gamer. It's like, we were just there. We just saw this. You don't need to flash, like, to us talking to her and then flashing back to the scene. And then, like, you don't need to do this. Yeah, useless is the perfect example. It's like, I don't need the refresher every time. This lets me add the top 2 cards of my deck directly into my hands. Oh, it's exactly like that. And like, if you do that in a video like this, especially when you start by putting up, like, the core thesis that the reason these games are interesting is that they respect the player's intelligence, and instead of front-loading the information, they assume that you'll be interested enough, and through word of mouth, of course, you'll know and be able to engage with these deeper ideas without, like, assuming or, like, having your hand holden through the entire experience, right? They even talk about, like, achievement completion as a metric for how many people stay with the game, and how they have, like, atypical completion amounts compared to, like, the drop-off before you go into the meta layer is way higher than after you get into meta layer, and how that can, like, be a sign that, like, that's the real hook of the game, and you just have to tank the fact that, you know, obscuring it is why it's interesting. And that's a cool discussion to have, but then you can't loop back to, like, it's just like the allegory of the cave 700 times. No, you can't do it and be like, it's so interesting. Have you, like, if you talk about it, it's just like this other thing that we've spent a bunch of time talking about. It was the worst with Void Stranger. I actually got so insanely tilted when it was... Let me see, do we have the... They show a graphic when they do that, and I actually got so mad. I'm seeing if I just hovering through if I can see the, like, play header and see if I see it. But no, I can't find it in the play header because the video is too long, so it shows, like, you know, discrete. Oh no, it might be in the spoiler section actually, because it's Void Stranger all the way down for, like, a long time. Yeah, oh my god, here it is.
He is a giant.
Oh my god. Okay, here's a fucking tilter. Hopefully this shows, like, is comprehensible immediately without context. Otherwise, I also warn maybe spoiler for Void Stranger, but I talk about that game constantly, so you know.
Fire pit. Anyone play those allegories, also known as the single and only part of this stupid book that is ever talked about by anyone. Plato's allegory of the cave describes a hypothetical scenario where a person's head is chained to the inner wall of a cave, such that they are forced to look forward. Just above them, in a place they cannot see, is a giant fire pit illuminating the wall in front of them. Occasionally, various objects pass by and burst fire. Objects which cast a giant shadow in front of the perceiver. Plato suggests that if all someone knew...
It also doesn't help that the way that I actually don't know if they're... I think they might be they, them at this point. So that's why I keep defaulting. But or like, not defaulting. But I think they have this tone. I'm explaining it to you like you're stupid. I'm using the YouTuber voice to explain a very simple concept so that you and your tiny, small, stupid poo-poo brain is going to comprehend it. Because I don't believe that you can make conclusions on your own.
Of the world was this cave, they would mistake the shadows on the wall as reality. They would see the shadow of a leech and believe that this must be what a leech looks like. What does this have to do with anything? Well, perhaps more relevant to this video is the part that comes right before the allegory of the cave. The analogy...
Then get to that point! What the fuck are you... Why did you bring up the allegory of the cave if you use it as a pre-header for the Oh my god.
On page 232, Plato points out something interesting about human vision. This book sucks, don't actually read it. And that's how it's the only human sense that needs something else in order to function.
I was like, get to the fucking point. brother, it never stops. It never stops. It's like 4 or 5 minutes of this, and now they get to the point. Like it literally, it's where does it start? It starts. It starts before the anime. It starts like here.
Consistently reappears. What room to recreate the mural path?
It starts here. It starts. It's a 4-minute like segue for a really simple concept you could do in 2 seconds. I was so mad. And then they do the allegory of the cave, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of see where you're going with this. And there's like, actually, I didn't even care about the allegory of the cave. It wasn't the main point I was saying. This part is literally worthless. I'm just using this to segue to a lesser known thing. You could have literally just said, it's like, you know about the allegory of the cave. Well, there's the second concept that they bring up earlier, and then like that sentence said the entire same thing, that the visuals, the illustration, everything, so irritating. I'm more surprised you survived a video essayist that has access to explain a dumb baby voice. Let me play a snippet from the video that like I've heard them from first.
Everyone. Gamble a few times and boom, you have more money than you know what to do with. The game.
You gotta notice immediately, there is an undertone in the allegory of the cave, the Void Stranger video. They use this type of cadence to talk where they soften their voice, whereas in this one, they don't.
Is finally playable and the Cobra can no longer kill you with attrition. This update also introduced the leader.
It's 10 times better! What are we doing here? This is your natural voice. Use your natural voice. Do not babyfy, like, you're coding it in this, like, patronizing ass layer, and it's so insanely annoying. But in your regular, like, content, you're good. Oh, it's so annoying.
There was one hero that was objectively the best, and it's the...
Oh my god. So, like, I unsubscribed from them immediately after that. I was like, I can't deal with this. I'm sorry. Also, just got a DM. I got asked if I wanted to play Mecha Chameleon. Now I have to do the thing. Have to do the thing where I have to explain to them that I would be interested in playing, but I'm busy like all of today, and they've asked once before, and I said no back then too. So now I have to do the thing where I like clarify. I'm like, no, I swear I am interested in playing with you. It would be a great time. Please ask me again. So like, don't see this as like a reason to stop asking me. I swear, I am interested. Prop Hunt. Mecha Chameleon is a lot more interesting than Prop Hunt. It's actually a super interesting, fascinating like design study. God, it's crazy how I've gotten so much more interested in writing my thoughts down. I'm gonna make a GitHub page, or like rather, I'm gonna use GitHub Pages, which is a separate function, to make a blogging website, and just put up my long essays there and start writing a lot more. But the first thing I'm going to write about is fandom culture and how that's changed, and some thoughts I have around that in relation to Chapter 5 of Deltarune and the ending of The Amazing Digital Circus. But one thing I do think is interesting to talk about with Mecha Chameleon is just the game design that went into it, that essentially solves every problem that Prop Hunt has. Mecha Chameleon to me is a game where the designers looked at Prop Hunt and was like, this is really cool. There's a reason it died out, but we're nostalgic for this and we loved it. What are the poor design choices in this? Like, what are the reasons that this game couldn't function and like survive forever? And what they identified was like, if you get a spot that's too good, it quickly becomes too boring and like unfair, and that's why everyone starts running around a bunch. The way you fix that is by introducing the whistle at a mandatory audio cue. That's not too easy, but also means that every spot is like echolocatable with enough time. So you immediately up the bar on how good a spot has to be, and remove the sense that like, oh, this is literally impossible. But then they also added the paint function, which helps with the fact that now the bar is so much higher. You have to be so much better. The climb function as well is very well done, that the hiders get it, but then you also get it as the seekers. But most importantly, the way they've set up that you can lock your position, you can remove or have your shadows depending on what type of spot you're in, but then you can lock your position and look at everyone else, is so good for the basic game mode. That makes it such a better spectator sport, and like you just sit there and laugh at whoever has the coolest spot instead of sitting and doing nothing and then hearing about cool things that are happening across the screen. Whereas the fact that you get that like kind of like a spectator mode made it 10 times better as a viewing experience, which is why it exploded the way that Prop Hunt did in the first place. It's like a more evolved, more refined Prop Hunt, where they took what worked and what didn't work, and they refined it. And I think that's really, like, it was there in front of us forever. We could have done this. Prop Hunt was a phenomenon when it came out, and it's been a proven formula. It's just that no one's been able to really solve the problems the way that Mecha Chameleon did. So I have a lot of respect for that. Even if in some ways I find it a little cynical to take a existing concept and try to refine it, especially when it's refined for the like content creation space, which I think that like it's friend slop, but it's hard to tell if it was designed to be friend slop first or if it was designed to be Twitch streaming like content creation bait first. But it's very effective at both. Anyway, that's a side tangent. Sorry about that. I don't know if it's my medication being at a higher dose, but I'm so much more excited to write and like be creative and formulate my thoughts in a proper way than I was before, and it's actually like one of the more exciting things recently for me that I've had that change. Let's get the context back. Let's get our context window back, like a proper AI. Let's figure out what was going on here when my controller comes back on. Controller? There we go. We were talking about fire and lightning as distinct elements. But is this revealing the nature of reality, or is it a weapon used against a hostile system? I'm not sure I follow. Just as I struggled against my base nature, or Al-Anon detested the fundamentals of reality, is it not possible that we are not so much uncovering truth as fighting against a natural order that is fundamentally hostile? It's unquestionable that reality seems built to produce certain conflicts, notably lust and purity, but also a degree of instability, as seen in Ginasta or Lilith. Thus, it is possible that our own ideals of justice or goodness are an arbitrary construction that exists within a reality that is utterly indifferent to them. There are dwarven philosophies that suggest something similar. Would it change the way we live our lives, other than in a tactical sense, if we need to work against an inhospitable reality? That is all very well for those content with their base desires, be they lust or justice, but it makes things difficult for those who question their fundamental impulses. Do we need to believe that justice is a fundamental truth of reality to work toward it? I love this game for questions like this. Well, answer number one, no, humans are not like rational beings. But you're asking this to Orkant, who is a very, very rational individual, or like tries to be a rational agent. So let's assume that instead of just chalking it up to being an irrational choice, let's say, is it rational to work toward justice, even if it's a fundamental truth that, you know, the world is unjust? I don't think so. Especially when we don't operate with incomplete information. But in this hypothetical, you can't guarantee if the world is just or not, like baseline. If anything, the uncertainty means that it's more valuable to work toward it, because you don't have like a true answer. But even if you got the answer that no, the world is fundamentally unjust, then I would still want to carve up a space that tries to mitigate for that as much as possible. You know? In this world, that would mean stuff like manipulating karma, destiny, shit like that, but in reality, it just means some form of egalitarianism. I've come to hate the term equality. I feel like equality is championed by people that don't understand the difference between equality in outcome and the equality in opportunity and resources, and it's also usually a veiled code word for like supporting libertarianism at this point, and free markets. Like it's a consumerist view in a lot of ways. I forget who said it, but it's easier to imagine like immortality or the end of the world than it is to imagine an end to consumerism and capitalism. But consumerism specifically, more so than capitalism. The quote is about consumerism, and I feel that so much when I think about equality and justice and stuff like that, where it's like there are so many ways we could make the world better for everyone that we just don't do because our value system doesn't really care. And it's one of those things where like a lot of people have spent a lot of time, effort, and money to make that seem rational, in the same way that we culturally view being good as being dumb and being evil as being smart. In a similar way, it feels like we facilitated this view where not only is it the default, you're stupid for arguing for the possibility of something else, which is so annoying. Like, constantly so annoying. It's one thing to not agree. It's one thing to say that there are problems with this from both like a resource perspective, but also like a philosophy perspective and whatever, and engage in the discussion. But it's way more annoying when it's like, you're dumb for thinking this. Oh god, that's so annoying. No, solving world hunger is not a goal worth pursuing, because it's impossible to do perfectly. Someone will always go hungry. What if people don't even accept the aid? Why would we want to try and solve world hunger if it's not even gonna be like the thing that they want, you know? Oh, but like housing for everyone. But like, why would we even go to work if you just have free housing and free food on the table? Like, why would we even work? Like, and I'm like, well, okay, first of all, there are a lot of... Have you ever been on a vacation and done anything during your vacation? Well, first of all, that's a time-gated experience that you're trying to optimize for. If you... Like, did you do work when you were younger and had infinite free time? Did you do things to engage your brain and help others? If yes, then you would probably work in the system. But two, even if the answer is no... if everyone can live a life where they have the liberty to like do what they want and survive and socialize with who they want and live a life of dignity, I think that's a better way to phrase it instead of saying what you want, because the definitions are so insanely murked by neoliberalism, and it's a co-opted phrase to say you have the liberty to choose. A better way to say, live a life of dignity. If everyone can live a life of dignity, then shouldn't that be something we strive toward? Like, aren't there some costs that we would be willing to pay for everyone to have a life of dignity? Do you not view these people as human or like worth the same level of respect that you are? Same way as like, oh, you should just pick a better job is an insane argument anytime. Especially that this is one of my biggest tilters, is with this one comes up a lot. I've become, I won't say like a friend, but I'm trying to become acquainted with the cleaning staff at my work. I see the same like 3 or 4 cleaning ladies, rotating like across the week, and a lot of people just like don't talk to them at all. But it's so tragic to me how many countries, not even how many countries, Sweden does this too. It depends on where you're hired. I'm lucky that I've talked to one of them and she gets paid more than me. Thank fuck, she does a much harder job than I do. I'm really happy she's paid more than me. But like, if you argue that working like cleaning staff and retail workers and stuff shouldn't be paid enough, then you're also arguing against the whole thing where, like, why would anyone want to work if they had roof over their heads? Because these people are working while they, like, still won't get that. Like, if they don't get paid enough to live from it and have, like, the dignity, then it doesn't matter, really, if you gave it to them. Because, like, they're not you're not holding it up as, like, a condition against them. If you're arguing that they shouldn't be paid enough to have a roof over their head and get, like, the dignity and the time over to, get, what's it called, vacations and everything, then what's even the point of working anyway? You defeat the first argument with the second argument, and they're both stupid together and in a vacuum. And it's usually the same people that do both of them, which is the worst part. It's one thing if it's 2 different people that hold 2 opposing beliefs, but often, specifically these 2, are held by the same type of individual at the same time, with no level of, like, reflection, self-reflection on why you hold them. It's so annoying. Exactly, Munch, yeah. I'm a tilter. I've ran into this recently, is why I bring it up, because you'll argue with this, and you're like, motherfucker, man. You need some fucking education. I don't know, but you don't need education. You need some self-reflection. You need to do, like, you need to study sociology and philosophy and, like, the humanities. You need to get back to the basics, man, and get more in touch with your critical thinking and inner self. It's one thing to be able to abstract problems and rotate blocks in your head. It's another thing to engage in not just problem-solving lateral thinking, but also examine your biases in this way, which is a form of lateral thinking. You need to engage your lateral thinking in other ways. Don't just do it selectively. Anyway, I'm preaching to the choir here. I just got tilted because I had this discussion recently with a person at work, and I was like, motherfucker, are you being fucking for real right now? Especially because they operate from a place of privilege where they have a very good pay for what they do and can pay for a family with their salary, and they can work from home 3 days a week. And they have, like, technically not unlimited sick days or whatever, but they, like, if they feel like they can't work, they have a good enough boss that they can just go, oh, sorry, I can't work this week. And they can just take sick and it'll be fine. I don't know, man. The level of privilege to have this type of discussion from that position tilts the fuck out of me. Elon simply worked super hard to earn his $1 trillion. I was recently reminded, speaking of playing WoW again, does everyone in chat know who Wreckfall was? One of the earlier celebrity deaths in Twitch culture, passed away tragically at a very young age. Wreckfall, to this day, I think has the best, like, comparison, visual explanation of the difference between a million, a billion, and a trillion. Like, I've never seen a more gamer-brained, easy to, like, traumatize someone explanation than when he broke it down. It's actually, like, one of the best clips. It's one of those things where, like, a lot of content creators now can seem a bit dim, I'll say, especially in the Twitch space specifically, where, like, a lot of the popular content creators act a bit dim and have, like, a very uncritical, like, audience. Wreckful is from the same generation as some of the worst WoW streamers, where they just are so, like, lucky to be where they were at the time of their life when they were. And Wreckful feels like one of those people that I feel like he never took it for granted, which is part of why he died, because he committed suicide, unfortunately. Like, he always felt like a really strong imposter syndrome. But he was so clearly intelligent.
Dude, I tripped everyone out today. And I'm going to do it one more time because you didn't see it, Conrad. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, watch this.
Wait, what the...
Conrad, everyone knows this and you know it too, but when you see it, it's different. Ready?
I like your ponytail.
Here is $100,000, Conrad. Here, there it is. That's a lot of money. That's what we can hope at best to make in a year. You know, doing really fucking well after taxes. That'd be crazy to make in a year, right?
Right.
That's a lot of money. All right. Now, we have someone named Amhai who is top Twitch donator of all time. He has like probably $1 billion, right?
Right.
There are people in the world with $1 billion, regardless. Okay. Anyways, $1 billion, that's a big fucking number. We can see that there's a lot of zeros on top of the 100,000, but we don't really feel it. You don't really feel it until you go like this. Even though it's 10,000 times more, but here.
This is, I think the fact that he writes them out side by side at the top with the number of zeros, so it looks like it's less than twice as big, really helps to start this out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 500,000. Copy paste that. That's $1 million. Okay. Then we have to go 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 million. Let's copy paste that. That's 10 million. Okay. Let's copy paste the 10 million. That's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 million. Okay. Let's copy paste the 100 million. Okay. That's 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, $1 billion. Okay. And now I'm Amhai, and I'm going to donate Soda Pop in 100,000.
A lot of people would have ended it here. What really sells this explanation is the visual language that he... Like, the way he sells it visually for the rest of the clip drives home the point so much more effectively than when people talk about it. Seeing it visually helps.
Like this.
Was that the delete key?
Yeah. And now we're gonna try to find the money that we're missing now. Okay?
It's on the right. It's on the right, I see it. There it is.
You saw it. It was right there. But it's kind of hard to feel it. If I put it somewhere in the middle, you guys probably wouldn't find it. But you know what? You wouldn't find it for sure. Let's donate $2 million to my good.
And this is also like extremely good for making this a teachable moment, especially for younger kids. A common thing is to be in like a constant "I'm going to prove you wrong" mode when you're being preached to or like taught something new, which is why I think this is where I got a lot of respect for it. A default response for like a teenager that's like in a bit of a like challenging mood or not really receptive to the information is to be like, oh, but I saw it. Like, I could identify it. Especially if you're not really engaging critically with it yet. The fact that he then goes and removes 20 times as much money, which makes it invisible, because the reason it was visible is you knew exactly which line it was, and it like sticks out visually. When he removes 20 times the amount of money, it is functionally completely invisible.
My friend Vinruki, and he could actually let's donate fucking $4 million. He could probably live a swell life with $4 million. Here, I'm Amhai. I'm giving Vinruki $4 million. Real quick, $4 million. I actually do not notice it's gone. I can never find it again. It's really difficult, you know, because it's just lines missing. I'm not gonna count my lines. There's so many. Jesus fucking Christ. I could actually... Hold on, let me buy like the most expensive fucking Bugatti or like limited edition Lamborghini for $2 million somehow. And let me just drive it over to like a valet. Let me leave it there. And I'm going to get really drunk and I'm going to just... I'm going to go home with my friend. And I'm just going to leave the Lambo there, man. I don't even want to pick it up. Because you know what? Next day, let's buy another one. Okay, we got another Lambo. It's cool. This one has a nice... I like yellow. You know what? I don't like yellow. I'm going to buy green. Okay, green Lambo. Okay, no, hold on. Let me just... Normal price Lambo. Let me buy a normal price Lambo for like 5 of my friends. It's like 300k. Okay, 300k there. 1 friend. 2 friend. 3 friends. Okay, let me buy it for the rest of you. There you go. You guys all have Lambos. Oh, wait, I want another Lambo for myself. Okay, there we go. We're chilling. Okay, let me see if I still have any money left. Hold on. Looks like I got a little bit.
It's so fucking well set up. And even the ending, making it comical, let me see if I have any money left, is a perfect sentence as a punchline for a joke. And after how strong the setup is, that just makes this a unforgettable moment. This is like, anytime someone asks about, like, or brings up the comparison, my mind instantly goes to this clip, and has for my entire life since it came out, because it just works on every level. It's a visual metaphor. It's a very concise example with not only the first of the actual truth of the money difference, just scrolling up, but then examples. Then the examples make you mad, because it goes to like the level of disrespect for money you can show with, let me just leave a Lambo there. Let me just get this. Oh, I don't care. Oh, I crashed it. Who gives a fuck, And then it ends, like, you've gotten a little bit angry. And then he ends it on, not without any, that's also part of it. It doesn't feel like it's meant to be a joke when he goes, let me see if I have any money left. He's still fully committed to the bit. And then he starts scrolling. It's like, looks like I have a little bit of money left. It just sells the entire absurdity of it so well. And then you have to add to the fact that you're constantly generating money at a faster rate than you can spend it. So not only, even if this was true, that this is the difference, even if this was the extent of it, you could spend money shamelessly for the rest of your life and never run out of money, as like the way we normal peasants conceive of it. But the fact that you constantly earn money from your money means that all of those purchases have been replaced with more money in the time you spent them. I think her name is Marfa, I believe, or Sasha, the ex-wife to Jeff Bezos. They got married before he founded Amazon, which means that she was technically a co-founder. She wasn't involved in the operations directly, but despite having a prenup, she was owed a part of the company, because she was part of the startup and had like a bunch of shares, and she was owed a percentage of the wealth that the company has generated and a percentage of the stocks of the company, which meant that during the divorce, she got 30 billion, I believe, 25 to 30 billion dollars. She has donated, I think, upwards of 40 billion dollars. She now has 20 billion dollars. Last I checked. It could be more now. It's been a while since I checked. And when they're out of public eye, people don't tend to like track their wealth the same way they do with someone like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. So it's hard to say the exact value, but she effectively hasn't lost money. She's donated more than the entire sum of money that she got in the divorce, and she hasn't lost money. Isn't that fucking insane? She's also publicly said that, like, it's really fucking difficult to find ways to spend that amount of money. The amount of work that like, it's a full-time job to figure out ways to spend the money to, like, charitable causes without just earning it back faster. It's absurd. And that clip is by far the best way to represent that I've ever seen. So if you ever want to show that, like, if you ever get that comparison, or like someone doesn't understand it, it can be difficult for yourself to like really sell it. And even if you say like, oh, but you're underestimating the difference. No, you're really fucking underestimating the difference. Even when you're accounting for your underestimation, you're still underestimating it. This clip dispels like 10% of the underestimation. The fact that he stops scrolling with his scroll wheel and presses the thing to like scroll up by the side because it's too much work to scroll up normally is absurd. but it also means that you are not mentally associating each like amount of money. You're still shortcutting it and abstracting a bunch of it, and then on top of that you have to take into account the fact that money earns money, so they're constantly going plus, so it's even more than this, and this is still like hundreds of times more of an accurate estimation than what most people have in their mind. When most people look at this, when most people think about this, they don't think about this wall of money. They think about the comparison at the start here. They think about this. They think about, oh, there's 5 more zeros. How much could 5 more zeros really be? Even just starting this here, if you just put these stacks up without going through the effort of copy-pasting it yourself, it also just doesn't hit. I tried doing this myself, and it's annoying to do. It's work. I don't know. It's just really good. I have a lot of respect for it. Rekful was not only one of the most empathetic streamers on the platform, like easily one of the most intelligent, but also consistently humble and like helped people constantly, which makes sense when you're depressed to the point that like you commit suicide. He was also worried because he ended up getting too popular in a way where he stopped feeling like it changed his relationship with people around him, that he earned so much money and like he was so famous that like people that he hung out with, you know, someone from school would message him like, hey, do you want to hang out? And it's like, you can't really. This is before celebrity culture online was like kind of like a known entity. He was like one of the very, very first people to get to that level of fame. So that really got to him, and I think it's really tragic to that we lost him in that way. But I also think the fact that he was so empathetic and made it with that level of luck is also what ended up killing him. It's a bit fascinating, but it also plays into how becoming that famous and also aspiring to this level of money that we're discussing, you kind of filter out the people with the empathy ahead of time. The only reason that Jeff Bezos' ex-wife managed to get that amount of money is because she divorced, and not because of any lack of ability, but because she has too much empathy. And now she struggles to give it away. Most people would never manage the level of suffering needed to inflict on people, the level of abuse needed to reach that money in the first place. And even then, I think your consciousness would like kill you in the process of reaching it, even if you like made up your mind that I'm going to commit human atrocities and exploit people to become a billionaire, to then use that money efficiently to, you know, pay back and do more good than harm. Like, I don't think anyone reaches that level of wealth with anything remotely like that idea. And even if they do, I don't think you have that idea by the time you get there. You have to be too evil. There might have been a period early on where that isn't true. I don't know. Like, I think you can be born into wealth, and obviously your upbringing is going to dictate a lot, but assuming that you get brought up like a reasonable person without insane expectations warped by money, AI psychosis before AI psychosis, I think you can have a reasonable head on your shoulder. You'll still struggle to not make money and go negative, like that'll be difficult for you for your entire life, but that's more reasonable. I also think maybe there was a period very early on where unexpectedly you can make like millions of dollars through emerging markets and stuff, but I think you have to reach monster status to reach $1 billion. The scale is so unfathomably large that it just comes bundled with human suffering on a scale that we struggle to comprehend. Anyway, that's the gist of it. I didn't really mean to rant. I'm starting to feel like I'm more prone to ranting now that I'm more medicated, which is a bit weird. But I also feel like the rants are way less disjointed than when I'm unmedicated. I feel like I could have ended this rant many times, but I feel like I wanted to get to a conclusion, which is not how my rants normally go when I'm unmedicated. So it's a bit fascinating. I'll have to figure out if it's something I want to engage with or if it's something I want to cut off earlier. It was sort of the same when I said I was going to start streaming at 16, and then I was in a discussion that lasted for like 25 minutes, and that was the reason for that was halfway through the discussion, I valued getting to a conclusion where I felt like I got what I wanted out of it, which I did. It was a really fruitful discussion, but time management seems to be a second priority, like a lower tier priority. Do we need to believe that justice is a fundamental truth of reality to work toward it? Not necessarily, but I believe that many work toward it because they do believe such. If you are working to change the world, my final message, and don't truly believe in your cause, what right do you have to impose your view on others? Implication here being that you do have your right if you do believe in your cause, but I know that that's not what it's meant to say. I do think it's funny how a lot of people ignorantly do this, but you also get people that... the same way that people say respect, and they mean two different things. They mean respect for a fellow person, like as equals, and respect to an authority, and they use them interchangeably. I feel like people do this with imposing your view. Like, people can say you're imposing your view when you're communicating your viewpoint, but then you also have people that ignorantly just like shut down anything and really default. I call it defaultism, which might not be a real term. It might be something I made up, but just the people that default and steamroll anything that isn't their perspective is really common, where it's like, you know, default to Christianity or American exceptionalism or nationalism for your country, or your religion, your racism, like xenophobia. All of these are some form of defaulting to your lived experience and your values as the morally correct good one, which in a way is imposing your view. All of these extremisms are, at least. But you can communicate that, like, hey, I believe AI is bad. Here's why. Without... And specifically, I can say I think less of people that use it. That does not mean I'm imposing my view on someone else. It also doesn't mean I view them as monsters. Yeah, I can view someone as lesser in a like small sense. I think less of you if you don't exercise at all and have no intentions of exercising. That's a bad example because there's a ton of factors to it. I think worse of you if you don't value your health at all. If you discount your own health and your own lived experience and you don't value your body at all, I think less of you. Not in a way where I'm going to not view you as an equal, but I would think higher of you if you valued yourself in that way. Stuff like that. It's an interesting distinction, this impose your views, where the line goes, where the line is drawn. Especially because, like, it's easy to say it's when you cause discomfort to someone else by extolling, like, or like preaching to them, or assuming. Hard to, because there's so many ways to do this, it's hard to like use a term that embodies all of them, but force your viewpoint onto others. But the definition of forcing your viewpoint is so vague, and causing discomfort is one, but like, I can say I think trans people deserve the same level of respect and care as anyone else, as straight people, as every marginalized group deserves it, but that would make a bigot uncomfortable. I can also say that I think trans people deserve a level of protection and a level of effort put into securing their rights into the future, and a level of consideration and like accommodating behavior because of the difficulties and the reality they live in that other people don't necessarily deserve in the same way. Like any Joe Schmuck on the road. Not necessarily in an interpersonal relationship type of way, but more in a like legal way, like bigger system type of way. And a lot of people will disagree and get uncomfortable with that. So, you know, hard to draw a line. what's it called? For imposing your views on others are. I use AI as a thought exercise for which wrong answers are right enough that I would accept them. Yeah, that's interesting way to phrase that. I can understand what you're saying. It's an interesting way to phrase it. I think one thing I really enjoy about your comments, Munch, is that a lot of the time you're pretty economical with your sentences. I think it's that you make an assumption that I'm going to read through the subtext of what you're saying and like try and parse through to what you're actually trying to say, which I respect a lot. I appreciate that a lot. Telling somebody your viewpoint is forcing it onto somebody, even if that isn't what most people mean when they say it. Yeah. I agree, but you can't draw the line there in the same way that we all have responsibility over how we react to stuff. Communication is a two-way street and all that. It's always difficult. While what you say is true, I'm not sure that's fundamentally a problem. In my opinion, a necessary prerequisite toward working toward any ideal as an adult is understanding that others will disagree with you about the fundamentals of that ideal. Without some degree of uncertainty about reality, all that's left is cemetery. I love when the game argues with us. This might as well have been like a third person that jumps in to talk about what we're talking about. A somewhat encouraging thought, perhaps. Though my mind wanders to those with views utterly opposed, not least some incubus kings, I would instead like to return to the question of fundamentals. If those such as you or I place so much importance on ambiguity, should we worry about the fact that reality itself seems to take the opposite stance? Isn't this returning to our previous conversation? What is need not be, simply because it is. No, I meant to make a slightly different point. Consider that many rules are forces of our reality, and consider their outcomes. Do they not seem, perhaps, overfitted? Less like natural laws and more like principles designed to create a specific world? Are you proposing the existence of beings beyond goddesses, truly a step above reality? An offer of the work itself? I'm not sure if I am proposing anything. In truth, merely expressing my discomfort with a world that feels filled with ad hoc principles. It's certainly true that you could look at our reality and see a world designed to produce specific conflicts. But we may be considering this backwards. Forget pure lust. Does our world exist to create pure sword? Most would disagree out of hand, but I assume you have a rationale. Imagine a religion based on swords. Its followers could point to the fact that the laws of reality mean there are certain methods that are objectively superior ways to produce steel or an edge. From our perspective, we can see that this is foolish. Swords were created to match the arbitrary rules of reality, not the reverse. And you feel all our concepts of lust and purity, which might seem to be driving forces, are in fact derivatives. I think it is very likely. Our world consists of a number of arbitrary rules, fundamentally indifferent to us or our beliefs, and all our concerns conformed to those rules. After all, think about what lust means to humans versus succubi. The apparent fundamental principles of the world aren't so fundamental in the way that matters to our actual lives. And questioning this would only lead us to an older philosophical question. Why should the world be this way instead of another? Why not? It is like the simplistic question, why should there be rather something than nothing? That fails to consider that why should there be nothing rather than something is equally valid. Either way, we're comparing the world we can observe to a world that seems like it should exist according to our vague feelings. I can easily imagine another world with different rules, but in the end, that's nothing more than a mental exercise. But we've also recreated another old question. Could our world truly have been different? Or would a world of pure lust without purity simply dissolve? With many of these fundamental balancing forces that seem to exist, I find myself asking if it could be otherwise. If we lived in a world without balancing roles, it would become unbalanced and life could not exist. We can only ask these questions from a balanced world, by definition. Logically true, but perhaps not so satisfying. Unless you posit that countless worlds exist simultaneously, and we live in one of the lucky, life-bearing ones. We don't need to suggest that, necessarily. There's also the question of logical niches. The existence of wood doesn't necessitate the existence of fire, but given the existence of flammable materials, fire could arise. It might seem like a fundamental opposition to us, or a destined dichotomy, but it may be no more than an interaction. I admit I find that intuitively appealing. Lilith might exist less because chaos is fundamental, and more because highly ordered systems will always be vulnerable to chaos. If that's true, we've come full circle, bearing arbitrary beliefs into an indifferent cosmos. More of a spiral, I would say. I feel that I've set aside a great many distractions in my consideration of the fundamentals of reality. Glad to be of service, but it does mean that this entire venture might have been futile from the beginning. I may not have been given answers by reality, yet I seem to have found them nevertheless. I'm truly glad to have met you, Simon, and not for the most obvious reason, which is that you're attractive to me. And I you, Orkant, to have met you as you were at first, and as you have become. And to who we will be in the future. I think we're done here. One more drink? Sure. A quest of identity. Finish Orkant's personal quest. That is by far the most satisfying personal quest out of all of them. I love that it ties into the bar jumps, like the bar crawl. I love the way the discussion went. I like that it builds on a lot of the concepts that they're talking about in the prior bar scenes. Just good stuff all around. Really, really well done. I'm not surprised because Orkant is one of the characters that has the most writing chops, but really, really good. I'm a fan. My first thought was Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and the no homo scene. I can feel it. I can hear it. We think it's the. I say I can hear it. Is it the? Oh, is it Yami Yugi that does the no homo, like in a nonplussed after talking about how Yugi and Yami. Like the way that they interplay. I keep thinking about a specific scene, but it's been a bit since I last and the fight. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I am remembering correctly. God, Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge is good. I'm afraid I should actually go and grab a shining sword before anything else. Before I forget, it's here, right? Please tell me I can make another one. Alright, we come full circle, and this time I'm doing it right. Created the Transcendent Ring. This one feels quite potent. I tried to pack all the magic I could into this one. Let's just say, if you find a better ring, I'll be a little bit pissed. I don't suppose we can mass produce them? Not in the near future. Besides, I have something else in mind for one more project. No, are we one away from the final? We have one sword, right? No, we have 0. We need 5 more swords for the probably like final big one. God fucking damn it if we don't get that. How many quests are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we've done this. We got the shining sword from this, I think. We're not doing this one. Uh-oh, it's looking real grim on shining swords. I'm afraid. I think maybe 4 if we count the optional dungeon as giving 1. What does it give? Hey, it's not even better than the ultimate Eldritch Ribbon that we got from the Giga Dungeon. That's crazy. Better comparison would be like Bala. Oh shit, you have a garbage item on you. Oh, never mind, it gives 0 stats. So powerful it's immune to sarcasm. Status immunity, resistance to debuffs, and more. Oh, so it's like everything resistance. That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty fucking good. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. Not only do I have to wake up early tomorrow, I was going to backseat a friend playing Outer Wilds. Did you... Do you mean the final line where it said the and more? Do you mean I didn't read that? So powerful it's immune to Sark. You owned me. You owned me, I'm sorry. Oh my god, I actually feel owned by that. That was really good. I skipped through the immune to sarcasm part, you're not wrong. God fucking damn it. But yeah, I am going to call it here. I have to backseat a friend playing Outer Wilds, and I'm going to play some more Ascension with the bros. And then I have to go to work at 7, or like be at work at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Dude, this is actually a problem. This is actually a problem. I have like a nervous reflex to save. While I was talking, I like navigated to the save menu and saved as like a impulse, like 2 times in a row, as a nervous impulse. This game is reprogramming my saving behavior. It's actually problematic. I'm not sure how after your explanation. It said immune to sarcasm, and you said, did you not read the good part of the thing? Which I took to be sarcasm. That you said that like you that you said, did you not read the good part of the thing? And I took that to mean, hey, this ring makes you immune to sarcasm, i.e., buddy, did you not read the good part of the thing? I.e., you were sarcastic. That was the way I parsed that. Maybe I gave you too much credit. Yeah, actually, you're right. Let's go back in and save one more time for the fans. Gotta make sure we hit the save. It's important. I'm not sure it actually saved. There we go. We got the save. Now let's Alt F4. I'll be back. I have my regular work week, so I work to 7 p.m. tomorrow. So I might DM if I have the energy after. Like, do we want to do a short stream? But likely I'll probably wait until Wednesday Tuesday evening. The issue is that when I do later streams, I feel like most people miss it because like I get home at like 7, 8, and then I have to eat, and then I start the stream at like 9, and then most people go to bed. So it's a little rough to do later streams, but I'll message and see if there's a vibe for it. But yeah, we'll see. Bye bye. Bye nerds.